Now this is a diagram that shows the ILO OSH 2001. The detailed document of the ILO OSH 2001 is attached to this course, and you can download and have a wider view of the content. Now this shows that the ILO OSH 2001 is actually patterned after the PDCA cycle, and the policy element, the organizing and the planning represent the plan aspect of the PDCA. The implementation represents the doing aspect, the evaluation, the check, and the action for improvement, the act. You would find that the elements stated under the policy, organizing, planning and implementation, evaluation and action for improvement are those elements that help to fulfill those purposes. So for instance, on the policy, there is expectation that there should be an OSH policy wherein there should also be worker participation, which talks about roles and responsibilities. In the organizing, there's also responsibility and accountability, and then there is competence and training, as well as documentation and communication. Now, all of these elements under the Plan, Do, Check, Act aspect of the OSH management system would help you as an organization to plan for how safety is going to be managed within your organization. As mentioned earlier, the ISO 45001 is also another standard based on the PDCA cycle, and which is an occupational safety and health management system that your health and safety program can be based on. So the ISO 45001 can be adopted by any organization wishing to implement a formal procedure to reduce the risks associated with health and safety in the working environment for employees, customers, and the general public. So here you also find a depiction of the structure of the ISO 45001. Again, as earlier mentioned, this management system or this framework is also created in such a way that it aligns with the plan, as you can see, the do, the check, and the act. That's the plan, do, check, and act cycle. And the ISO 45001 developers have created processes, procedures, and tools and techniques, essentially processes and procedures rather, to help you fashion how you manage health and safety in the workplace after this standard. So ISO 45001 is an internationally recognized assessment specification for occupational health and safety management system. Essentially, it's developed by a selection of leading trade bodies, international standards, like I said earlier on, its best practice. And also the ISO 45001 has been designed to be compatible with other ISO standards like the 9001, which is for quality, and the 14001, which is focused on the environment. You would find that the standard or the management system addresses planning for hazard identification, risk assessment and risk control, the management program structure and responsibility as well, training, awareness and competence, and a number of other elements that we're going to discuss later on. Essentially, what this provides for those that desire or that decide to align with it is that it gives a guide on how safety and health can be proactively managed within the organization. And very similar to that is the HSG 65. Now the HSG 65, which is also the structure we have here, is also patterned after the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, and you can see that there is also the policy element, the planning element on the planning, just like we saw in the ILO OSH 2001. There's the risk profiling, the organizing, and the implementation of the plan under doing, and then there is the measuring of performance, and of course you go on to act, where you look at the lessons learned and also ensuring that there is some sort of ensuring that you review the performance as well. The HSG 65 is Health and Safety Executive. Health and Safety Executive is the body responsible for the management of health and safety within the UK. And so the Health and Safety Executive's guide that explains the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle approach to health and safety management. Also, it shows how it can help you as an organization, or you working within an organization that is saddled with the responsibility of managing safety, to achieve a balance between systems and behavioral aspects. The HSG 65 treats health and safety management as an integral part of good management generally, rather than as a standalone system. And that, like I said, is the focus of having a management system approach to occupational safety and health in the workplace. That is, you don't want to look at it as a standalone. You don't want to look at it from a knee-jerk reaction position. You want to be systematic about it. You want to have a proactive approach. You want to have a well-defined plan to managing safety in your organization.